Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today I'm going to be talking about a question that I get a lot of, and that's the issue of teaching children breath work. Should I teach children breath work? What is the right age? Is there a specific technique? Are there multiple techniques? Are there techniques that are going to hurt a child? I'm a dad. I assume there's a lot of parents out there that want the best for their children, and that's why I keep getting this question. I am going to be writing a book about this. I'm going to be teaching workshops, so stay tuned to this channel for whenever I announce those workshops. But this video is going to just be a basic primer for the things to think about, really just the things to think about when considering teaching breathwork to your child. Let's talk about that today. Hey, welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today we're talking about breathwork for children. Should I teach them? Should I not? What's the right thing? Is it going to hurt them? All these other things. So a few things I just want to cover, and really what it comes down to is when it comes to children, the younger the child, for the most case, the better the breather. And that is because breathing dysfunctions generally happen in humans because of our lifestyles. So these are things like posture. These are things like eating habits. These are things like the habits that they see around them, sleeping habits. A lot of things go into affecting breathing and creating dysfunction. And it's those dysfunctions that can cause us to be in a state of fight or flight more often, experience more anxiety throughout the day, have difficulty with focus. So one of the things, especially with children, what we want to try to do is avoid dysfunction. That way, so much of the breath work, just so you know, so much of the breath work that I teach and that we do is there to basically undo the dysfunction that life has done to us. So what we want to try to do, one of the best things to work on with your children is to try to avoid those dysfunctions. So a few things to do, and the very first one, the most important one, is modeling behaviors for your children. So some of the things that cause dysfunction are poor diet, and this is because breathing is one of the ways that our body regulates body pH. And so whenever we have an imbalance, our breathing will change in order to bring our pH into homeostasis. Well, if you are eating processed foods, really a lot of sugary foods, oftentimes what that does is it puts us into an imbalance and it makes us feel as though we need to breathe more. And you've probably felt this, a lot of us experience this whenever we overeat. We overeat and you're just almost just kind of, sadly, I've done this a lot, but you've overeaten and you're just kind of just sitting there. I mean, there's this whole, some people call it the food coma or meat sweats or all these things whenever we overeat. And so this can happen, and what your body's trying to do is balance its pH, and it's going to be using your breathing mechanism to do that. And so what we want to try to do is model healthy eating. And I say model healthy eating. I'm not saying force the children to eat healthy. I'm saying you need to be modeling this behavior. You're going to hear this a lot in this video. You need to model it. So you need to be eating healthy so that your children look at you and say, hey, I guess eating healthy is what we do in this house. Because your children are never going to take your advice if you're not following that same advice. The classic example is the smoking parent who says, don't smoke. It's the do as I say, not as I do parenting is just not going to work. So model healthy eating, model a lifestyle that is healthy posture. So our posture affects our breathing mechanism. And so if you're hunched over from doing this too much, or from doing this too much, or even just sitting around too much, all of these things affect our posture, and our posture affects our diaphragm, where our diaphragm sits, and all of our breathing muscles, where those sit. So modeling appropriate posture is important. And so this doesn't mean watching your kid and pointing out their errors. It means you're modeling the kind of behaviors that are good for posture. This can also mean saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna look up some exercises to do each day to improve my own posture. I'm gonna invite my child to do those exercises. Now, it's likely that your posture is way worse than your child. Again, your child hasn't had the time to develop these dysfunctional patterns yet. But the thing is, what you're doing is you're modeling behavior that in the long run is going to be of benefit to them, because it's going to, there's all sorts of things that you want good posture for, but their breathing will not be affected quite so much because of poor posture. Another thing you're going to want to think about is, why am I teaching my child breath work? And the primary reason that most people want to teach their children breath work, or the reasons, we want to be able to help a child be able to focus better. We want to help a child get better emotional control. And we don't want the child to fall into some kind of a dysfunction that's going to cause them anxiety throughout their whole lives. And so really try to think about, why am I wanting to teach this to my child? And remember that breathing, while it is an incredibly important tool, the goal is to help them with these things. The goal is not necessarily to make them into breath workers. Okay, we want to help them with focus. We want to help them with all these different things, with their stress, with their emotions. So don't look at it as, I need to teach them breath work. Look at it as, I'm trying to create and encourage this small human being, who's going to be an adult someday, to have control over his or her emotions, or anxiety, and all of these things. And so it's a tool, it's not the end goal. So the end goal should be all those other things. One of the things that I want to talk about is when it comes to breathing techniques. The younger the child, the more difficult it's going to be to teach the child breathing techniques. And this is just because they just don't care. I've got a 5-year-old, and it's the best I can do to teach him deep breathing and nasal breathing. So one of the things I'll do on a regular basis, I will demonstrate to him nasal breathing, and I'll say, hey, it's better for you to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth than to go in and out through your mouth. Because he's a joker, believe it or not. Where does he get that from? But he'll go, right, and all these things. And it's not like these are bad things, because he's having fun, and that's fine. But I just want to let him know early on in his life, hey, breathing through your nose is better for you than breathing in and out through your mouth. And it's these little things that I'm hoping to encourage him on, that will lead to avoiding bigger bad things, in the future. Also, they're going to be habits that hopefully stay with the child on into adulthood. And this is, again, I'm going to model this in my own behavior. I'm going to model that breathing. I'm also going to model emotional control, okay, just in general. And when I get upset or when I get stressed, maybe I will model deep breathing and slow breathing. This isn't going to hurt a child, okay? Some breathing techniques, they may be too extreme for a child. But, okay, you're upset. Modeling is how we teach. Modeling is how we teach children. So model that behavior. Teaching proper inhalation, that diaphragmatic control. If really a kid already understands, even though they don't maybe intellectually understand, but a kid already understands the basics because they haven't developed those dysfunctions yet. Nice, slow, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Things that are going to help them break those moments of stress and get better handles on their emotions. That's what we're looking for. And what we do, by doing all these things, we're going to avoid the dysfunctions that oftentimes cause problems with anxiety, focus, and all these other issues. I've gone on long enough on this video, but I hope you're interested in learning more. If you are, stay tuned to this channel for more workshops that I'll be putting on that go into greater depth on how we can do these things for our kids. And I hope that you really model that behavior. And of course, this isn't just for breathwork, this is for everything. Your kids are learning from you, from your modeled behavior. You're always modeling behavior, no matter if you want to or not. Guys, hopefully these things are helpful, and maybe you want to learn more. That's great. Take a look at the links below. I would love to work with you more. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another. Hey guys, also one quick thing, if you're looking for some guided breath work for your own, take a look at the Patreon Club. That Patreon Club helps this channel stay afloat, and I really do appreciate all the Patreons who are out there, and it's an amazing tribe, amazing group of people. We have a lot of fun, we have a lot of banter, and I really do appreciate all of your support. If you haven't joined the Patreon Club, take a look at the link below, and I hope to see you there.